What's up guys, welcome to another video of mine. Like the title says, I'll be doing something like a review on one of my favorite horror games of all time, which is Shadowman Remastered. I have this habit of completing this game then deleting it only to later replay it in the future, which is something I'm doing right now because the last time I played this game is like 2 to 3 years ago, and you know what, I've decided to make a review video to express my love for this game and maybe convince new players into trying out this game. I've watched review videos about Shadowman Remastered on YouTube, and let's just say most of the reviews are trash. People who haven't even reached quarter of the game will be uploading reviews on YouTube. Like this channel, for example, this dude was talking about the history of the game without even talking about the damn game. You can't be reviewing a game and be telling me that the company went bankrupt, blah blah blah. Like, how does that relate to the game I want to play? We also have this guy, for example, who made a 2 hour plus video about the game, and I'm like, for what? I don't care how good the game is. There's absolutely no reason for a game review video to be this long. If you have never played the game before, I'm happy to tell you that you clicked the right channel because I'm about to glaze the fuck out of this game. My only issue now is videos on Shadowman Remastered don't really perform well on YouTube, and it doesn't really motivate me to edit, but I don't care. I feel happy just talking about this game, and without wasting any more time, what is Shadowman Remastered? Shadowman Remastered is the remastered version of a 1999-year-old game. This game is older than me, by the way. The game version of the devil, who goes by the name Legion, plans to conquer the earth, and you kind of get some warning about the world coming to an end from this woman who, for the love of God, I don't know why, but I seemed over her badly back then. It was when reading her backstory I discovered that she's an ancient witch who possesses people's body to live longer. My sibling died. I don't care if she possesses a beautiful teenager. I'm not simple for an ancient woman. Hell nah. Like I said before, the world may be coming to an end unless you save it by collecting dark souls, which make you strong enough to defeat Legion, who is the final boss in this game. You see this thing right here? Shoot it and you get a dark soul. There is a total of 120 dark souls, and to be honest, some are terribly designed for you to reach, that you have to just freestyle jump to get them. The game's power level is divided into 10. At the start of the game, you just need one dark soul to get stronger. Then the more you collect dark souls, the required dark souls to enter the next power level begins to multiply. Like if you're taking 5 dark souls to enter a power level of 2, you will need 15 dark souls to enter a power level of 3, and so on. There's something known as a coffin gate, which is like a door to newer maps, and each coffin gate has its own shadow power level requirements to open. If a coffin gate needed a shadow power level of 5 to open and you only had a power level of 3, that just hints that the map is not a place where it's supposed to be right now. So you have to go and search for more dark souls in other places. There's a prophecy book in your inventory that you can read if you want to know the weapons and power ups you are going to get later in the game. And the game is designed in a way that some dark souls are unreachable until you gain new powers in other maps, and you have to come back to the previous map to collect the dark souls. E.g., at the start of the game you are not able to walk on fire, but you later gain a power that lets you walk on fire in another map. So you have to return to the older map to walk on that fire so that you can reach locations that were previously unaccessible. You start with half of your health at the beginning of the game, but it is something that can be increased by offering something known as a Kadox to the gods in one of the temples in the game. According to the game, there is over 600 Kadox, which you can get if you search every nook and cranny of each map, but I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really bother about searching of Kadox. That one is another work itself. If it happens to be where I'm passing through, I'll pick it up, but never have I thought, let me go and be searching for Kadox. I'm just dying like an idiot. Now, I know I said I'll glaze the fuck out of this game, but I have to first talk about the flaws of this game, which you are going to struggle with, especially if you are playing the game for the first time. I've seen a lot of people complain about how it's really difficult to navigate this game, and they're not wrong. Unless you're the type of gamer that really enjoys exploring places and roaming aimlessly around for hours, you're really going to dislike this game. On my first playthrough, I remember relying on walkthroughs from Google a lot, especially on backtracking to previous map to get dark souls. It's as if developers somehow expect everybody to memorize every damn thing in each map. I'm also playing a Legend of Zelda game right now where you also need to find stuff, and the games give you something like a tracker that tells you if you are near the thing you're looking for, which makes me wish Shadowman had something like a dark soul tracker which hints if a dark soul is close by or not. But no, you are left to roam aimlessly around, and some people may like it and some people may not like it. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that some maps will give you headache, especially this damn playrooms map. I'm not going to give any spoilers, I'm just going to say that this map is a real pain to play through for the first time. Thankfully, the remastered version has something like notifications on the map menu that tells you if you still have something to do in the map. If it stays blank, you know you're done entirely with that map. Games like God of War introduce you to the action immediately so that you can get a glimpse of what to expect as you progress. Sadly, Shadowman Remastered has a very slow start, and you don't even reach the first boss until an hour into the game. That's if you even know what you're doing. Unlike popular games like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, etc., I can say that Shadowman isn't that popular because I swear on my life I've never seen anyone living in my country talk about this game. So how was I able to find this masterpiece? I remember one day around 2013, I was downloading random Dreamcast games to play on an emulator, and Shadowman just happened to be one of those random games. To be honest, on my first playthrough, I did not pay attention to the cutscenes or anything that hints directions of what I'm supposed to do, which made me spend hours, and I mean hours, just fighting against crocodile and achieving nothing. I had gotten bored of the game at some point and was about to delete the game when I decided to search the final boss fight on YouTube to see if this game is actually worth my time, and that has to be the best gaming decision I've made in my life. This game is so good and underrated that you really have to play this game before you die. Shadowman Remastered has everything I want in a horror game. The game is so full of mystery, like developers were very creative. Like you never know where you're going or what you may see or find, which kind of makes getting lost in this game worth it. It uses this PS2 type of graphics, which is the type of graphics I wished more horror games would use. I don't really like horror games using this Unreal Engine or whatever it is called. Stick to PS2 type of graphics. Horror games look creepy and better this way. The music, masterpiece. Different enemy designs here and there, and I could specifically mention them, but I don't want to make this video long, so I'm skipping it. As you progress through the game, you gain different weapons, although there are some weapons that you will never use because you don't really need them. But one thing I do love is how they make the shadow gun stay relevant throughout the entire game. The shadow gun is the first weapon you get in the game, and unlike other weapons that can run out of ammo, the shadow gun ammo is unlimited. In fact, it is powered by Dark Souls, meaning that the more Dark Souls you collect, the powerful your shadow gun becomes. Once your shadow power level reaches like 7 upwards, it becomes much easier to easily deal with enemies. At least that is the fun part about backtracking, easily destroying enemies that gave you a hard time. You suck my head, how dare you! One crazy thing you also need to know is that some enemies won't die completely until you finish them off with your shadow gun. I'm not going to mention the enemies, it's left for you to find out about yourself. If you hold the shoot button, the shadow gun charges up, which also in turn lights up your surroundings. This is something I really found useful, as most places in this game are really dark, but you can use your shadow gun like a torchlight while running. There's a glitch in this game that is really useful at times. If you spin around an enemy while shooting, they don't attack. Unlike Resident Evil games where I always tend to struggle with controls, Shadowman Remastered has these fluid controls that feel so satisfying, especially when in combat. I like the fact that the game doesn't hold back in showing you gore content, because I like seeing blood in horror games. Tough bosses are also in this game, and I already have a boss fight ranking video I did in the past. 2 years ago. What? There are a lot of areas to explore, and personally for me, the map I like the most are the asylum playrooms and the prison course. These are the areas where the game throws its best enemies at you, and you know what? I like violence. The maps I hate the most in these games are the temples, cause backtracking to these maps to get certain things is basically a death sentence. I'm not really a fan of games that have too many puzzles, but thankfully, now that I think about it, this game doesn't really have much puzzles or even puzzles at all. I think it's more of a platforming, jump and dodge traps here and there and click switches, that type of game. There isn't really a moment where you stop to think about how to solve stuff, and I like it that way. The game allows you to save anytime you want, so I really recommend saving before you engage large groups of enemies, so as to avoid always spawning at the start of the game. Jesus Christ, see how this guy can bang me. If you look at the system requirements, you see that you don't need a powerful PC to play, and I'm legit happy that developers didn't make the remastered version very demanding and all that. My advice to anyone who wants to play this game for the first time is, please rely on Google for walkthroughs if you get lost or don't know where to go. Don't allow bad navigation stop you from playing this masterpiece.